When most people go on vacation, they do it to relax. Others, however, like a little less relaxation and a little more courting death. Fortunately, there are a variety of death-defying tourist destinations scattered around the world, so no matter how you like to stare death in the face, you've got a choice. 10. Yosemite National Park has Half Dome. In total, around 60 people have died on Half Dome and the trail leading up to it. Hiking up Half Dome takes an entire day, during which you'll climb over 1,500 meters, burn anywhere from 4,000 to 9,800 calories, and climb the last 120 meters nearly vertical with the assistance of metal cables. And that's where many of the problems start to occur. Hikers are discouraged from undertaking the climb when conditions are wet, because the combination of slippery cables and slippery rocks can be deadly, so deadly, in fact, that the bottom part of the cliff on the same side as Mirror Lake is known as the Death Slabs. Even when it's not wet and slippery, accidents are still well documented. 9. Annick Gardens. Because regular, non-deadly gardens lack a certain sense of adventure, Jane Percy, the Duchess of Northumberland, decided to make the gardens of Annick Castle something extra special. When she found herself at the head of the Annick household, she also inherited gardens that had long been neglected. Originally thinking that she was going to include a section of plants known for their healing properties, she realized that wasn't as much fun as plants that were poisonous. The result is a gated area on the grounds known as the Poison Garden, and it's full of warnings and plants that can cause certain death. Even though visitors are a relatively safe distance from the plants and can't actively smell or touch them, some have fainted from the toxic fumes that are released into the air. While some of the plants have a bizarre, unsettling history, like the angel's trumpet, which acts as an aphrodisiac before its poisonous effects kick in, other plants that the Duchess has included in her garden have another meaning. She has included plants like the coca plant and cannabis, seeing the garden as a valuable teaching tool for the school children that come through. While many of them might be bored by a trip to regular gardens, she sees her poison garden as a great way to get kids intrigued by plants and their properties. 8. Hawaii's volcano tours. If you're the type that thinks checking out an active volcano is the way to go for a vacation, you're in luck, as you have a couple of different choices in Hawaii. Both have track records of death, and the National Park Service actually temporarily shut down the bicycle tour, mentioned below, in 2007 after there were 3 deaths and a number of serious injuries within the space of a year. For a fee about $100, tourists are driven up to the top of an active volcano and they then ride a bicycle down. Deaths came when people lost control of their bicycles on the downgrade, but that's not the only way taking a volcano tour can kill you. 7. Skellig Michael. Skellig Michael most recently made the news as one of the filming locations for Star Wars, but it has been a beautiful, remote, and integral part of Irish culture for centuries. The site of a monastic settlement, it was chosen by the monks because of its inaccessibility and difficult terrain, something that hasn't changed since its establishment sometime between the 6th and 8th centuries. It is now a World Heritage Site. Visit Greater Skellig's website and you will be greeted with a safety video for visitors. It stresses that there are 600 ancient steps that wind their way up the side of the mountain, and there are absolutely no safety features whatsoever. There is also no food or water, visitor centers, toilets, or shelter. Getting to the island means an hour-long boat ride across potentially troublesome open ocean, and it is not uncommon for landing on the island to become impossible because of high waves and choppy water. The area is particularly prone to falling rocks, but that is not the only problem. The stone stairs, more than 1,000 years old, are rough, uneven, and meandering. 2 deaths only months apart in 2009 sparked a review of the safety conditions on the island. 6. Praia de Boa Viagem. Wide, sandy beaches, breathtaking sunsets, perfect weather, close proximity to urban nightlife, and warm, clear, ocean waters. Sounds like the perfect vacation, right? Possibly, if it wasn't for the sharks. Praia de Boa Viagem has long been one of Brazil's premier destination spots for tourists from all over the world. But since 1992, the picturesque beach has been plagued by shark attacks. Between 1992 and 2012, there were 56 shark attacks at the beach. 5. The Colorado River System. Whitewater rafting can be fun for the whole family, but the Colorado River system has been plagued with accidents, injuries, and fatalities. In 2014, part of the problem has been due in large part to an increase in the melting snowpack from higher up in Colorado's mountain ranges. Heavy rains can potentially add to the problem, but according to the Colorado Parks and Wildlife Department, it has the huge increase in melting snows that is pushing them to issue high water advisories for areas throughout the river system. In 2007, the river system saw 12 fatalities and 176 serious injuries. 4. The beaches of Acapulco. Acapulco is a name that has been synonymous with one of the most relaxing, luxurious vacation spots that Americans can easily get to. As recently as 2013, the murder rate was 142 per 100,000 citizens, and even though the city is quick to point out that it is mostly drug-related and not tourist-centric at all, 200 murders in January and February of 2013 alone isn't a great track record. 3. Cliffs of Moher. The Cliffs of Moher have one of the most breathtaking views in Ireland, looking out over the rough Atlantic Ocean. Its rugged beauty is unobstructed by things such as safety rails, but the potential dangers are much greater than that. Not far from the parking lot is the Cliffs of Moher Visitor Center, with their paved walkways, regular stone steps, and waist-high stone walls covered with signs warning people to stay off the walls. But the walking trail extends out along the top of the cliffs, where it becomes something much more deadly. High, unpredictable winds, relentless and equally unpredictable rains coupled with steep sections of the path, loose gravel, and smooth stone mean that it is not your normal walk in the park. In 2006, one woman was walking along the top of the cliffs when winds swept her to her death at the bottom. 2. El Caminito del Rey. The Caminito del Rey is so named because the now deadly path was once walked by Spain's King Alfonso XIII, shortly after its installation between two power plants in the Gaitanes Gorge. The man-made pathway is only about 1 meter, 3 feet, wide, in the places that it still exists, and runs along a sheer cliff face about 100 meters, 330 feet, tall. It is technically closed to the public and has been since 5 deaths between 1999 and 2000, but that doesn't stop countless people from making the hike every year. The pathway has fallen into disrepair over the years, and that is something of an understatement. In many places, all that remains of the pathway are rusted metal rails, leaving the most daring no choice but to look straight down at the rocks below rather than at a nice, secure, wooden path. Many of the support beams are rusted through, and in some places, there is no choice but to climb carefully along the side of the mountain. Even where the path remains, holes are common, and even without a fear of heights, the view is dizzying. Although it is technically illegal to walk there and trespassers face a hefty fine, it has remained a popular destination, so popular that money is being sunk into extensive repairs, with the hopes that when the walkway reopens, it is not only still popular but much safer. 1. The Kokoda Trail. The Kokoda Trail is nearly 100 kilometers, 60 miles, of hot, humid, treacherous, leech-infested territory running between the northern and southern coasts of Papua New Guinea. Its rainforests have exotic animals, jungles, clean water, and villages of native peoples who have lived off the land for generations. It is also the site of numerous World War II battles, fought between the Australians and the Japanese. And every year, thousands of visitors make the trek, amid the threat of everything from trench foot to death. Walking the entire trail means 6 10-hour days of walking, climbing, and swimming. Everything you need, you have to carry with you. Mountains make the miles seem even longer, and all the while you're swatting mosquitoes that may or may not be carrying malaria. Walkers are escorted by guides, and along the way, many learn about the stories of the soldiers who fought and died in the old foxholes and amid the abandoned machinery. Dehydration, broken bones, and illness are the biggest threats, but there are others.